Thank you very much, Bjorn, for that introduction. I'm actually very shy. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to be with you today. My brother number two, the series in the briefings from the State House. Really, it is a great pleasure. So, a bit of a background, which I won't go too deep into, so that we can take more questions and answers. Of course, you know that the Diaspora Commission, this administration, number one, has been able to have us have a Diaspora Commission. And the aim of the Diaspora Commission is to engage with Nigerians all over the world to get them involved in the policies and programs of the federal government of Nigeria. And as Biodu said in his introduction, it's come through a long process and eventually passed into law by the parliament. And in 2019, we began operations when the National Assembly finally ratified the commission to be set up by the Establishment Act 2017. But after all said and done, we started functioning by 2019. I was appointed in May 2019. So the commission mobilizes and executes programs that will complement and advise the federal government on major areas of accelerated development and reach out to Nigerian communities abroad through their various groups, organizations, and professional bodies. And one thing is certain, we have the diaspora who have a lot of skills and talents and resources. So the idea is, what do we do with this enormous skills, talents, and resources? And that is exactly what NITCOM is doing. So it's not enough to be the best in the world, the most educated immigrants in America or anywhere in the world. What are you doing to your home country? And we are glad that with NITCOM in the last 3 years, we've achieved a lot of engagement and successes with our diaspora, being able to give back to Nigeria and getting more involved in investments. We've over-talked about remittances. I mean, everybody thought it was going to go down, but it went up to over $20 billion being sent to Nigeria. We know that these remittances are for families and all that, but it has contributed significantly to the Nigerian economy. And we've had a lot of Nigerians, as I speak, who have returned to do things back home. I will mention a few of them. Right now, there's a Professor Awa who has brought students from all over the world, Italy, Germany, US. She's a professor in Harvard University, and she tells her story. And they're right now at various IDP camps, training our children on STEAM, that is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Honestly speaking, if you see what that woman is doing, it's amazing, and the kind of impact on those children. John Godson, he left Poland. He was the first Nigerian to be elected into the Polish parliament. He's back home to set up a ranch here in Abuja. And it's an amazing feat, what he's doing. He could have stayed abroad, but he's here. And thank God we're working very well with him. Hospitals, I mean, you see, we keep saying our doctors are leaving. They are leaving, but some are coming back to set up in Nigeria. I can count almost about 10. Marcel Ruth in Lagos has set up the best cancer center anywhere in the world. And believe me, people are coming from outside Nigeria to these hospitals, but nobody's talking about them. I was there physically, and I saw people who came in to say, I came from Germany, I came from America to this center. She's a diaspora, and she was abroad for 24 years, and she said, I'm coming back home. During a challenging period, and she's doing that in Lagos there. Dr. Seidu Worno is going to bring one of the best transportation systems to Nigeria. I think he's starting off in Sokoto. He's coming in from Germany to do that. And it's something everybody should look forward to. A school bus project for children. These are people investing in Nigeria. Dr. Badewa has gone into educational therapy for children with some kind of disabilities. And it's amazing what she's doing. Our footballers, ever than before, are doing things back home. Assistant as a foundation, Simon Moses, Ahmed Musa has built something amazing in the north. But nobody talks about these things. They keep coming back to give back and see what they're doing. Ahmed has a sports academy. Anthony Joshua is doing amazing things, but nobody is talking about them. But he tries to keep it quiet a lot of times. Very soon we're going to commission, what's his name, the guy in Austria? David Alaba. doing something amazing in Ogun State. So I could go on and on, but there are many things the diasporas are doing. Dr. Benjamin Ayao, look, I'll tell you, if you want to treat stroke or even open heart surgery, you don't need to go abroad. Dr. Benjamin Ayao's hospital in Imo State is doing, and people again are coming from outside the country to these hospitals set up by Nigerians in the diaspora. The hospital that Prof had his surgery, his operation in Lagos, was set up by the diaspora doctors. Right there, Duchess. So our doctors are coming and giving back. It's a challenging environment. I'm not saying it's not. They tell us there are challenges, but we work at ensuring that these challenges are overcome one way or the other. And of course, you know Dr. Philip Ozua, who gave $1 million to his alma mater, UCH in Ibadan, not too long ago. We could go on and on. There are quite a lot of them. Medical missions, they come all the time. Now, what we do is gather all this information together and put them in proper perspective. And we're going to subsequently tabulate them in Naira and Kobo and what this amounts to and the effect on the Nigerian society. And then Naido UK South, during the Diaspora Day, they were here, did amazing things in the country. So there are many things the diaspora are doing. I want to use the opportunity to thank them and really, really say how much we are proud of them. So what have we done in NIDCOM, in ensuring that we fulfill our mandate? One is Nigeria now has a diaspora policy ratified by the Federal Executive Council not too long ago. So now we have a policy to guide all diaspora engagements. And in that policy, all MDAs, at least identified MDAs, will have a diaspora desk. And like trade and we already have in health, we have in EFCC, we're talking to NYSC, we're talking to trade and investment, and quite a few. So it's now a policy in Nigeria. So the policy defines standing committees on diaspora matters in all the ministries, departments, and agencies. And there's a strategic 5-year action plan which is being implemented. So we have the short-term, long-term, and medium goals that we must achieve by Nigeria. And of course, we are able to develop an organogram with the Office of the Head of Service, and we're glad we're working on that. We had our pioneer staff recruited somewhere in this hall, people like Ezeaka, Funke, him. We have some very small pioneer staff. We could do with a lot more. So we're still asking for a waiver to be able to employ. So yes, we've had the diaspora policy that has been ratified by the Federal Executive Council, and this is a big deal. We worked on it for a long time, and we thank the International Organization for Migration for making this possible. Now, we have the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit. We hold that every year in November here at the State House Banquet Hall, usually declared open by the Vice President. And again, we're proud of our summit. We're working with the private sector, Nigeria Diaspora Summit Initiative, and I tell you, a lot of diaspora are investing, particularly in agriculture, health, education, ICT, and the food business. And we're glad that is happening. Again, not that there are no challenges, but they are saying, hey, this is home. If others are doing it, why can't we do it? And I know that they continue to do it even on a bigger scale. The Diaspora Day now holds July 25 every year, and we had a very great event this year with the Chief of Staff, ably represented the President himself, and really was a great and successful ceremony. And we hope that someday we'll have all diasporas gather. That's our national day, the Diaspora National Day, as is done in some other parts of the world, where every one of them will come together. So it's building and growing, but now we are attracting the capacity diasporans. This year we had somebody come from Kazakhstan, and he wants to work with all those people on those islands and export our culture and arts and trade there. Some came for the first time in after 30-something years, because they wanted to be part of the Diaspora Day, and part is what is going on in their home country. So that is now a policy, so it becomes an annual event in Nigeria. Now data is key. So we'll be able to start a diaspora data portal under Honorable Terham's department. And again, Nigerians are beginning to register in, your data, you want to protect it, but we're encouraging them. It's about, for instance, President Buhari may want somebody in a particular area tomorrow. With the click of a button, we can easily locate them from the diaspora. So the data portal is ongoing. Honorable Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, was there to launch the portal for us last year. So the portal is doing well, and we encourage Nigerians abroad to key into the portal. And also we tell our students, And we're doing this because a lot of them don't want to start going to missions and all that. Wherever you go, let the missions know that you are there. When trouble comes, that's when you start running around. We saw what happened in Ukraine. We saw what happened with COVID. So it's important that we know where you are at any point in time. So we hope that they'll listen to that. And then again, every state now has a diaspora focal person. Well, 33. Was it 34? I think one more state gave us. Plus FCT. So that means that you want to invest in a kitty, you have somebody to talk to. So we are decentralizing the issue of diaspora. So we have our own council, and we meet quarterly with the state diaspora focal officers in the states of the country. So we do a biannual summit of our focal officers since we set them up. Again, Ambassador Zuberi Dada was there to declare the summit open. Then we also do the Diaspora Quarterly lecture series so that we can have continuous engagement with the diaspora. So COVID actually affected but did not affect, but actually now we do more. A lot of times webinars and all that, so we have constant conversations. We haven't had it, a whole lot of things. We haven't had for a few months, but we're going to start it again very soon. So the last time we spoke about the issue of passports, and we had the Minister of Interior who gave a lot of information on what was going on with passports and all that. So we keep taking topics as they want us to address. So the lecture series will be quarterly, and it's an avenue for conversation. Media is key. Very, very key, as of course we all know. So we try to also engage a lot through the media. NTA is generous enough to let us have a program every week and repeats all the time. Channels has begun a program on Diaspora Network, just to showcase Nigerians excelling abroad. We have a radio station, but we stopped at the moment because there's a new rule that says you need to register properly. So we have to make sure we obey the rules. So it stopped until we get everything sorted with the NBC. So Ben TV London, we have a program with them, WAP TV, and then we have a very efficient media unit in the commission with Balogun and Gabriel assisting him there. So we don't joke with our media. We don't fund them. They know, but we don't joke with them. A lot of medical missions, like I said, keep coming into Nigeria. And what we are doing, they've been coming before NIDCOM, we know. But we now engage them more and document what they're doing. And honestly speaking, it's amazing what our Nigerian doctors are doing. But what we're saying is that all this can converge into a medical center of excellence. And I'm glad the Ministry of Health is looking into that and working with them. Under the Minister of Health, there was even a training session where they trained about 79 at a go of some of our people here. So there's a doctor who came from the UK. He does surgeries for children in the hospital. He used to come with nurses. Now he doesn't come anymore because they've trained the nurses here. So as long as we keep training, capacity building by our professionals, that's a lot of support that they are giving. And you saw Professor Suleiman there. He's also back home in Kwara State. He's contesting elections, but he's doing amazing things in the medical world. A lot of interventions, because that is the fact that there are many times that things happen to the diaspora and nobody speaks up for them. So a lot of times we've been able to intervene successfully with cases of our Nigerians abroad. There are so many, some never come to the attention of the media, but we do intervene successfully, working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, our embassies, and particularly the consular department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We can't forget Zainab, who, as you all know, is now working with NDLEA. Thanks to President Buhari's intervention and Ibrahim, she came back home and wrongly accused of drugs, and now a staff of NDLEA. And she said to me, "Mommy, I dare any drug pusher to come near me, I'll deal with them." Our legal unit has received and treated over 700 petitions, and I think it's even more than that. Every time we get these petitions, and we deal with them. We have also a very efficient communication system. We get your emails, we reply you, and we deal with the matter. Some we can't do anything about. You can't commit a crime and say, "NIDCOM, save us." We can't, and we will not, because you're not supposed to be committing crimes where you go. But as Mr. President has always said, we will not allow any Nigeria to suffer unduly. You will not suffer for a crime you did not commit. Also, now before you register for your diaspora NGO or whatever, you need to have a letter of no objection from us. And we've been doing that. And in the last 3 years, 157 letters of no objection have been issued by the legal department. Then, of course, we engage with committees on diaspora affairs in the parliament, both at the House and Senate, particularly for diaspora voting. Unfortunately, we didn't succeed. The National Assembly is still not interested in diaspora voting, but we will not relent in continuing to engage with them, because I believe, and everything should know, that the diaspora should be able to vote. So we hope that we continue to engage with the parliament. Look, there's no big deal about diaspora voting. And a diaspora, which was at the beginning of my presentation, is somebody who is living legally in another man's country. It's not an illegal immigrant that just goes through the desert and goes. You have to be a legal resident with a name, an address, and you are paying tax in that country. And that will even help us in defining diaspora. So for those who are worried, it's not because you run to another country you're going to vote. No. You have to be a legal resident. And don't be worried that maybe some are more. No, with the data that we're compiling, no tribe is more than the other. In Sudan alone, there are about 5 million Nigerians there. That is the truth. So with the data we're compiling, you find that Nigerians are, of all tribes, are all over the world. So if diaspora voting starts, it doesn't mean that you start at a go. It's left for INEC to decide. You can start with personnel, maybe military personnel, staff that are posted, but we have to vote. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when it's going to start. So we continue to engage our parliament in that regard. And of course, funding for NIDCOM, which is very, very poor, but we haven't let that hold us back or slow us down. We do a lot of diplomatic engagements as it relates to diaspora matters. And we do that a lot with virtually a lot of ministries and embassies and MDAs, and you can see some of them there. And they also do a lot of visitations to us, and we've been having quite a lot of that. And we also have quite a number of countries coming to us to understudy us on what we're doing with the diaspora. We've had Tanzania, Uganda, Ethiopia. Yesterday we met with the Indian High Commissioner, because we also want to learn from India what they're doing, and India also wants to learn from us what we're doing. So we do a lot of that. Now, we have a lot of media engagements. I've said that. Virtually all our media stations, online and everything, because we need to keep propagating the issues of the diaspora. And DOA is an NGO we're working with. It's called Doing Good Work in Africa. So we're working along with DOA and encouraging the younger people to get more involved. And DOA has been doing a whole lot. They're based in the United States of America and seeing what they can, their growth in Africa. And also, moving on, what's the next slide now? Yes, the Diaspora Healthcare Professional Initiative in concert with the Ministry of Health. We had a little bit of a setback, but it's back on board now. And it's about getting our diaspora professionals together in the health sector and see what we can do with a pool of resources in the medical field. So they're all doing it, coming here and there, but how can we pool all of them together? And I think that is ongoing in partnership with the Ministry of Health. Now, 2 states now have their own diaspora commission. Abia has a diaspora commission headed by a lady, very efficient lady. So, and that's very good news. So, Edo is following suit. The parliament has passed their own diaspora agency bill into law. So, Edo has joined the league. And Enugu is at that stage now. And I think Ondo and another state. So, hopefully, every state will have a diaspora agency, not a big thing, but an agency to deal with their diaspora. Like I said, everybody comes from a state. So we want you to engage with your state while we are at the federal level assisting coordination. So we're quite excited about the fact that we're now having little agencies for the diaspora. Well, staff training is very key, and a major training we had with the immigration, because our works do interface, and we thank immigration for that. Our immigration officer is here. Immigration has an officer with NIDCOM, so anything to do with immigration, we just send it to them, and they get them resolved. There's always issues of passports, but as we get them, we explain to them through immigration. So we had a very good training with immigration, and the positiveness of that training is telling on our staff how to behave, how to receive people, what to do, and all that. So thank you, immigration, for that. And then, of course, IOM too has helped us with quite a few training of our staff, and we're also happy about that. But we could do a lot more. ICMPD, Afford UK, but COVID affected a lot of things. As everybody said, oh, we don't have funding anymore, we can't do ABCD, but we also do quite a lot of things online, virtually. And I mentioned study tour from various other countries. They were here, Namibia was here, the OACPS was here, that's the Organization for Caribbean and Pacific States. Now they want to put diaspora on their front burner, and in December, they've invited us to come and kickstart their diaspora program, and they want us to be the diaspora champion. So Nigeria is already setting the stage for a lot of African countries, and they're inviting us to come and teach them how we're doing it. Thank you. So a lot of study tours, we have Ethiopia there, and quite a lot of them. Northern Cyprus, we had to move to the next one, Northern Cyprus, because honestly it's been a lot of problem on Northern Cyprus. So we had youth come and tell us, please tell everybody stop going to Northern Cyprus. We did that some time ago, and some said, how can you tell people not to go? And I'm saying it again. If you're going to Northern Cyprus, think twice about it. Over 20 students have been killed over the years, and nothing happened. So these students came themselves and said they have to embark on awareness that don't go to these places. Northern Cyprus is recognized only by Turkey. It's not a UN-recognized nation. So if you run to Nigeria, we can't do much, but our students are being killed on a daily basis, and nothing is happening. So again, I'm going to appeal that we need to take a strong decision about places like Northern Cyprus. Now, we also know that a lot of African Americans, the historic African diaspora, come to NIDCOM to say, we want to come home, what can we do? So we have the door of return in Badagry. Again, because of COVID, we haven't had it. But honestly, it's a very emotional event. It's a very spiritual event where they walk through that door, through that walk, the slave trade work, and then we receive them like kings and queens, and the whole community comes out. I can't describe it unless you see the visuals, but it's a very emotional event, and they're all looking forward to the next one. So that's our own bit of engaging the historic African diaspora. We had about three. And honestly, when Ghana was saying they did year return, we started it, but on a small scale. And we're proud again of what we did. And Governor of Lagos State has been very supportive, but we couldn't hold it because of COVID. But we're planning the next one, which may not be this year, because again, elections are coming. Of course, the presidential town hall meetings. Mr. President, as we all know, has been described as the most diaspora-friendly president. Everywhere the president goes, he meets with the diaspora. He engages with them and has a fantastic and robust conversations with them. And we're glad to have been part of that, of our presidential town hall meetings. The feedback we get is always very, very positive, and we're glad that Mr. President does this every time he travels, and it has had a lot of impact on our diaspora. So a lot more pictures from there. I can see Gaba and Femi's head popping up somewhere. So quite a lot of town hall meetings, and we're putting a compilation of the town hall meetings particularly together. Now, during COVID-19, our diaspora played a major role. They got together, taxed themselves almost about 80 million naira, and gave PPEs to every state of Nigeria. And something particularly happened. When they were doing it, they said, we do not want to import. Why should we import into Nigeria? So they got a firm in one of the eastern states. I don't know whether it's Aba or Imo or Enugu. And the guy did the first set of PPEs. NCDC rejected them. They were not up to standard. So they rushed back to him. And I think Funke had two staff and Tobe coordinating. They rejected his PPEs. So he went back and did them again. They said it was not good enough. We went back and did them again before they accepted them and we presented. But guess what the good news is? This guy is now certified by WHO as one of the best PPE producers in the world. Now he has even been on top of a list. And now the world is getting his PPEs. You know, because we have to believe in ourselves, and I thank the diaspora team for doing that. So we're able to do that. Zumunta Association, based in the US, also does a lot of palliative projects in Nigeria. They were also here. You can see the governor of Nasarawa, who himself is a diasporan. who has been very, he came from the diaspora. He was a member of Zomunta when he was in America. So he's been very, very supportive with everything we do. Evacuations, again, this is a record President Muhammadu Buhari has made for himself and the administration. For the first time, we've had Nigerians stranded in Libya. They've been stranded for years. So it didn't start under the administration. They've been in detention centers for years. But when President Muhammadu Buhari came, he gave an instruction that every Nigerian stranded in Libya must be brought back. I remember he made that announcement in Togo, no, in Côte d'Ivoire, during one of our town hall meetings when it was raised with him. And President brought back over 10,000 stranded in Libya. We had the IOM, yes. And honestly, that is a feat. And we remember going into detention centers, seeing them as we walked in. They started singing the national anthem because it had never happened before. And everybody was brought back. But get the sad news, they are still going back. And they are still calling, help us, help us. But what we do is, you can't abandon them, so we just send to IOM. Whatever we send to IOM, if you get a plane of, so they're still coming, 200, 180, and there should be more awareness and more interagency collaboration in this regard. So South Africa, Mr. President, we thank him very much. We're able to bring back Nigerians who during the xenophobic attack. The UAE is a trending problem. I'm sure you have questions to ask about that. Because that UAE is, as I speak with you, we have 302 in a camp, holding center, being profiled, and they need to come back home. This is after we've warned you that don't go to these countries. We remember when UAE, and this was a point that was stressed, but our people are still going and breaking the laws of other countries. Then when the trouble starts, you call on government to bring you back. You can't abandon them, but really it has to stop. We can't go to other countries, break their laws, and then expect that, in any case, nothing will happen. So this is, again, is an area of concern for every one of us. Ukraine, again, Mr. President, successfully brought back every Nigerian stranded in Ukraine. And honestly speaking, we thank him for that leadership. So even China told us, how did you do it? So every Nigerian that was stranded in Ukraine came back home. And after they came back home, NIDCOM, in collaboration with Commission for Refugees, had some kind of mental counseling session for them. Some still have issues, some still, so one-on-one we still talk to them, but they are back home. Some have returned. Some are trying to get into some other universities here. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has a website and a portal where those who are interested and want to school back here can return. And somebody said, well, ASU is on strike, but there are also all private universities. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs actually set up a portal, particularly for Nigerians affected in Ukraine. Again, to Mr. President, we presented our 600 icons in the diaspora, and I tell you, we can give you 6 million or 6,000. We're working on them. Isiaka is handling that particular one, and we're so proud of this compilation. I'm proud of Nigerians everywhere in the world. It's amazing, honestly speaking. It's amazing what Nigerians are doing, but if we don't tell those stories, nobody will. So it's the bad stories that will trend, the good will never trend, but we continue to celebrate ourselves as Nigerians everywhere in the world. Then the second and third generation of Nigerians, that one we're passionate about. Because, you see, these young people, one of them said to me that our uncle said, never, ever, ever come to Nigeria. But he came to Nigeria and he didn't go back again. And he said, uncle, but why? Why? Yes, because he's now doing a lot of things back home and he's making more money. He's even exporting things back to some parts of Europe. So we are focusing on we call it the Home Strings Program. Aisha is not here, but again, there's a staff working on this. We call it the Home Strings Program for the second and third generation of Nigerians in the diaspora. We provide a platform for them. I told you of the guy who came from the UK. He came here at 8 and now came when he was 35. And when he came, he was crying. And this is not what he expected. And he has called me like 10 times. He's doing a program again for youth. And we're working on something with him. And I think it's also there are many of them. It's just that for time, we can't be mentioning them individually. So we collaborate with all other MDAs, NAPTIP, Refugee Commission, particular agencies, trade and investment, health, and quite a lot of others. So we do have a lot of cooperation with other MDAs in the issues of diaspora, and Dr. Bassi actually supervises that part of it. So CBN on diaspora remittances, Corporate Affairs Commission, NTA, NIMC, the Ministry of Health, Trade and Investment, NAPTIP, Immigration, EFCC. And we also have an Interpol staff with us from the Nigerian police, Mr. Sylvester, so that issues that relate with police and all that, we hand over to Mr. Sylvester. We've resolved a few, but there are some that is still very difficult. So NEPC, Export Promotion Council, TED Fund, because we want to work on research, and we're trying to talk to TED Fund if we can have a diaspora research collaboration. And our meeting with them has been very, very productive and purposeful. So a lot of pictures to show that, hey, we're telling the truth. No Photoshop. So you can scroll through the photographs. Yeah, a whole lot of that. People. We also have our international partners, basically IOM, ICPMD, and they've helped us a lot with our staff training and a few other things, the diaspora policy and all that. The EU has given a bit of technical support. They told me, well, you know what it is this year, but we'll look at what we can do next year. So we thank all of them. And there's a lot more that we'll be working with. ICMPD gave us the first set of training. That's Muji there. Gave us the first set of training for our staff that took them to the UK. The AFDB, we're also working with the AFDB on a few collaboration that we can have them, particularly as it relates to the African diaspora. So we're glad to partner with the AFDB. And I told you the Secretary General of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States, His Excellency, Mr. Georges Pablo Pinto Chicote, was in our office to see how they're now going to have diaspora on the front burner. And like I said, we're meeting them. We're going to be with a program in December where we will be called Diaspora Champions. And a lot of engagements abroad. That was what we did in New York, where we had a meeting with our diaspora along with our consulate. We did New York, Atlanta, DC. You'll be telling me you've only been hearing about America. Our focus now is South Africa. So, but again, we're just coming out of COVID, so, and then funding to travel, but we're finding ways we can do all this virtually. We've had 2 webinars with, is it Liberia? Honorable Tara? We did Liberia and Sierra Leone. So we want to focus a lot on Africa. There's so much happening on the continent that we think we should focus on our brothers and sisters on the African continent. So it's not only going to be about America and Europe. NAPAC is a fantastic organization in America. They are supporting Nigerians that are contesting in the US. And we're having quite a few of them. I believe this year we're going to have about 2 Nigerians that will likely win their seats into the House of Reps. So NAPAC is like a political, they get all the political ones together and they're beginning to have an impact. Oye Owolewa is there in Washington, D.C., and quite a lot of them. Will Jawando was here, his council at large in Montgomery, and he's so proudly Nigerian. The day he went for his inauguration, he wore his full agbada, which is now put in the museum. So quite a lot of them were working with NAPAC in that regard. And we have the Nigerian think tank group also in the UK. So quite a lot of groups. And of course, the Nigeria Diaspora Organization is an umbrella body for all Nigerians in the diaspora. They have leadership issues here and there, but we don't let that hold anybody back. We keep doing what we can do with them. The AU, the GIZ, and a lot of embassies that you can see there that we really, really have strong collaborations with. So, having gone through all that, I just want to say that it is pertinent for Nigeria and Nigerians to know the importance of their diaspora, because they have continued to contribute their skills and resources to the development of Nigeria in various sectors such as health, education, technology, finance, transportation, housing, and the entertainment industry. In fact, the Headies Awards will be taking place in Atlanta in about a week or so, which I will be attending, and he's taking our entertainment scene to the US, and it's only going to be a whole lot of event. 20 billion diaspora remittances, and this is not a joke. And one of the things we're doing is a diaspora housing scheme, which we hope to help the diaspora in owning their own homes. A major complaint has been, you want to buy a house, then you give it to your uncle. Your uncle does not build the house. He goes to marry one more wife, and then you come home, you can't find the house. So we're making this easier for them. Yeah. We're making this easier for them through the TTI department, so you can directly, so we've opened a portal particularly for housing, where with the click of a button, we're just dotting the T's and the I's to ensure that there are no mistakes. In fact, somebody ran to me and said one woman came to her and said she's in charge of diaspora housing, and she had opened something. So we have to ensure we get it right. And then the diaspora mortgage scheme, with the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, so that you can get a loan of 50 million naira. You can add more to it, but you can own your own home with a mortgage from the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. So ultimately, we are saying that the diaspora definitely is an economic factor. We also want the diaspora to be an investment factor. And we keep talking about foreign direct investment. We want to subsequently be talking about diaspora direct investment. So Nigerians at home, Nigerians in the diaspora, we all need to work together to build this beautiful country of our dreams. President Buhari has provided the platform. What we need to do is to ensure that we manifest that platform, we make it efficient, we make it work, and ensure that truly, if our greatest assets are our people, we need to do something about it, we need to build it, and we need to ensure that Nigerians are truly who we are, the best anywhere in the world. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Diaspora that have contributed well over $20 billion to this country. We're talking about the diaspora that are investing in Nigeria in agriculture, health, education. And we're talking about the diaspora that are the best anywhere in the world. And because of that, we have come up with this publication, which Mr. President himself presented. So this celebrates outstanding Nigerians anywhere in the world. And I tell you, there's no Nigerian in this book that is not an excellent, not just a success story, an excellent success story. So Nigerians are the best in the world, and we're saying that these Nigerians are beginning to be part of the programs and policies of their country, and they're from all parts of the world. The second edition is on. They want to say, remove it from the... The book is too big for Dr. Bassi. So, plus 600 diaspora accounts at 60. We haven't even started. We haven't even started. So nobody will celebrate us but ourselves. And to Nigerians in the diaspora, please don't talk evil about your country. When you go abroad and you say negative things about your country, it's affecting you and every other person. It's not about government. So these Nigerians are worthy of celebrations. By next year, we'll be doing the Diaspora Award ceremony for every Nigerian that is excelling abroad. So on behalf of NIDCOM, this is our presentation to both of you, our diaspora icons. Thank you very much. Thank you. And also, another presentation, of the diaspora policy that was rectified by the Federal Executive Council. newsletter. So let's just finish all the presentations since we're still on. So this is our newsletter by the media department, telling good stories about our people. Our Diaspora Investment Summit, like I said, we've had 3, and this is the compilation of the last 2 editions. And you will see that Nigerians truly are investing back home. And this is publications of our diaspora, of our Diaspora Day activities that we've been able to put together. We're not done yet. This is our Diaspora Housing Fair, where we came up with what we should be doing in terms of housing for the diaspora by Honorable Terap's department.
The state diaspora for
So this is publication of our state, for 3 years, our meetings with our state diaspora focal persons, where we also come up with ideas and things to do with the diaspora. So these are 3-year publications. Thank you very much. Please get the basket.
Thank you very much, Chairman CEO. I'm sure when I was introducing her, I said she's at home, she's not shy. In my local parlance, there's something we say that Abini B is different from Julie and Cody. We'll take the first set of questions.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Leon, we were together in Parliament. You know that Mr. President cannot go to Parliament and say, you must do this and that. He has said it severally, that he's not against diaspora voting. INEC has said they are not against diaspora voting. I think what we need to do is just keep appealing to National Assembly. I understand the fears and sentiments, which is the fact that, okay, maybe our elections are not yet perfect. We're still experimenting. So I understand the fears. What I'm saying is that we need to sit down again, analyze these fears, and see how we can go about it. So I don't think Mr. President has anything to do with that, despite being the most diaspora president. I'm hoping that the National Assembly will become the most diaspora-friendly National Assembly and get their own title too. So even for the diaspora themselves, we'll be telling them that make it your agenda. Every time you see Parliament, talk to them and appeal. It's about lobbying and appealing and explaining those fears. For instance, they asked me, okay, the law says 12 to thirds. If the diaspora votes, where do you count that? And the answer is simple. Everybody comes from a state. So if a Lagosian votes in London, it goes to Lagos votes. And we're talking of, and then it's INEC that will decide. I think that is key, not the National Assembly. Let National Assembly also give INEC the powers to start diaspora voting when the infrastructure is ready. So it doesn't mean that INEC will do it tomorrow or even in 2027. INEC can just say, okay, I want to do it in one country. It's when the infrastructure is ready and they say they can. So I think it's just more about lobbying and appealing, and which is what we always do in Parliament. Yeah, my sister, in terms of, Bloomberg, in terms of remittances, yes, the $20 billion is for 2021. The year before was 2020.
2020, 17 billion.
So in 2017, we had 17 billion. In 2019,
25 billion.
So in 2019, 25 billion, 2020, 17, and last year, 20 billion. So it even went better during COVID that we thought was going to go down. So it's per year, and it comes out every year. World Bank, IOM, Central Bank, it's on the website. So that's per year. Then in terms of investments, like I said, by the time we do the next Diaspora Investment Summit, is that we don't want to quote wrong figures. For instance, the hospital set up in Marcel Road, she knows how much she put on it, and the hospital set up here, the ranch, and all that. So all that will collate into the kind of investments that are coming. But we don't want to quote wrong figure. We work with the Nigeria Diaspora Summit Initiative. So by the next summit, we can be talking about the real actual figures. Yeah, Juliana, it's about, like I said, interagency collaboration. it has to be massive awareness. But I also tell you, I was surprised that somebody still told me last week that they went to somewhere they didn't know. Look, we have to get over all this trying to hide under we didn't know. Anybody that doesn't know today that if you go to all these countries you get into trouble is pretending not to know. Agents are a problem because some go through agents and, nap tip, some are trafficked, but some just want to go. Some will tell you that their destiny is abroad. And I tell them that if it's abroad, you have to go legally, not illegally. May we all achieve our destinies, but go properly because it's getting tougher. Half of the things we see, ask legal, you don't even hear about them. Half of the people who cry for help, you don't hear about them. But we still do what we can and say how we can. So massive awareness. So I push that back to you that, Juliana, how can you help in propagating awareness about the dangers of irregular migration? Immigration has been doing their bit. NAPTIP, Refugee Commission. There has to be more intentional decision to put it on the front burner. Honestly speaking, there are really pathetic stories. Too many that you can't even know half of those stories that they come to us to say, help us out. So, but we keep at it. In the case of Itunu, yes, the case is in court, and I would not want to preempt what is in court, but there are some sad things coming about that. Somebody visited her before she died. I'm saying this for the first time, and that person is a Nigerian. If there was CCTV, they would tell us who that Nigerian is. And it's one person who has been going about saying that he's doing some investigation. So it's deeper than that. And when that comes out, you may be shocked. And again, because she's late and the father is still mourning, I mean, it's difficult. I really don't want to go. But somebody, a Nigerian, who claims to be investigating, had a relationship with that girl and visited that girl. And something happened to her. If it was a developed country, there would be CCTV and they would point that guy out. So they're looking at it. And I don't think, with what we have seen so far, that the police actually in Cote d'Ivoire did anything. Sometimes we are our biggest enemies. So it's deep, loaded. You can report it any way you want, but something deeper happened to that girl that goes right back to who she called her friends. Who were her friends? Who actually implicated her? Who went to visit her? Some male, dark, that claims is investigating. But unfortunately, they themselves are handicapped because they don't have CCTV, they don't have anything. But the case is still there, and like the Minister of Foreign Affairs said, it's still there, but these are deeper investigations that may just be pointed right back at her so-called Nigerian friends. Aliyu. Yes, thank you very much. I think I mentioned in passing that, when we go out, even we ourselves, somebody goes on social media, lands in another country, lie on the floor, said, I've left the zoo. You see, it's affecting. That person is attacking you. Yeah. He's not attacking Buhari. It's not the government. He is insulting me and you. Yes. And unless the media sees that, you don't have to like me, you don't have to like Femi, you don't have to like him, but don't bring down your country. By the time you go and start reporting negatively about Nigeria, you're bringing the whole country down. And ultimately, it affects every one of us. Now it's more difficult for everybody to get visas. Whether you're going to Canada, whether you're going to the UAE, whether you're even going to America, it's difficult now as Nigerians. It's not because of Buhari. It's because of what you say about yourselves and how we behave. So we need to come together and say bad behavior is not acceptable. You go to UAE, you bring cultism, you bring kidnapping, and the country is asking you, please define cultism for us. Because they don't know it. It's not in their laws. And then you tell me that, but it's not everybody. We've said it before. When I said it here, when I came here, when some people in Dubai, if you find the tape, you will remember. Here, when some people in Dubai went and raided a bank in broad daylight, I said the bad will affect the good. Some attacked me and said, why did you mention names? The names I mentioned made Dubai say that we're not taking it lightly. And they sentenced them. Those guys are still there, life imprisonment. Normally it might be death, but they are there, life imprisonment. Then you go to another man's country, you are involved in cultism, you are killing each other in broad daylight. It's not right, and you don't want them to take a lot of hard measures. So really, again, I've told you, if I just yesterday, who came to my office 2 days ago? Another Nigerian with his family, American family. And the children are amazed. The wife is amazed. It's like, this is not what we read about Nigeria from Nigerians themselves. A lady wanted to celebrate her birthday in Nigeria. She's done her DNA. She is Nigerian. I said, I'm doing my 70th birthday in Nigeria. Nigerians told her, don't go. They will kidnap you. You will not come back alive. She came, she celebrated, and she's been coming every year. We are helping our country if we report the right. I'm not saying you don't report what is happening, but we don't have to tell lies and exaggerate, and we don't report the good stories. And that's why we are doing our own little bit, what we can do. By the time our online radio station comes on stream, we'll be doing all we can. And that's why we're doing all we can with the media. But we are limited. We're not funded. It's goodwill that has even led us this far with the media, and including you. I want to thank all of you for all this support you've been giving us. So, yes, the bad stories does affect the perception of our country, Nigeria. And I'll tell you something. I was in the UK when a parliamentarian was murdered in her office. I was there. I didn't even see much of it on there. There is a mention of it and all that. When IRA was terrifying the UK, and for those of you who do not know, there was an narrative policy that no British media could even show the guy talking. They can show his face, but they will not track up on him saying rubbish. But here, we are showing terrorists, Boko Haram, celebrating them. And you think those people will not be fueled? They'll be fueled. They're enjoying it. They're watching what you're showing. And they're clapping for themselves. So, honestly, media, you're part of development. You're part of progress. Criticize an individual, but bringing your country down, I always go against it. One girl went to Russia, and she said you were doing competition, and she went to carry Nigerian flag with blood stained. Why? They don't represent Nigeria. And guess what? They extradited her from that country. You went to Russia, of all places. She didn't win, and she was even sent out. You guys don't know that, but yes. So we cannot, look, I'm a proud Nigerian any time. And I always go with my head held up high. And anybody that condemns my country, I attack them. Attack me, attack president, attack individuals, but not your country. Not your country. So there's a lot of work for the media to do. Thank you. However, I should remember that why we have those bad Nigerians, we have the many good. If you give me one Nigerian committing trouble, I'll give you 10,000 doing great things. And that is why we will continue to celebrate the good things.
Take 6 ago now.
Thank you very much. Gloria. Yes, Diaspora direct. We can't ignore the fact that there's some. Oh, sorry, Timothy, on funding. Sorry, Timothy. I like women, so I just saw. Timothy, funding, yes. Well, we're set up with, they take our funds, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, actually, is whatever they give us that we have to spend. And I think our budget this year, total capital is 160 million. Total recurring overhead is 8 million a month. That's all we have. Even that is not enough for one trip. But we think outside the box and get these things done. And we are, as a team, looking at other ways of ensuring that we get funded. For some of these programs, we have to reach out to corporate bodies to support and all that. But we don't put funding on as a major priority. Money is never enough. We could do with a lot more, but we're hoping that gets. But most importantly is that we should be able to see how we can increase funding. If you generate funds, it goes to federation account and all that. But it's something that we keep thinking about and see how we can, number one, minimize what we even spend as a commission. So you find that, honestly speaking, we try to be very, very strict with whatever kobo we have to spend, and all the staff know that they are not smiling most of the time, but I think they know that at least they are learning a lot on the job. So, yeah. Yeah, so, we still even don't have a proper office space. There's a place we're managing at the Federal Secretariat. So all those things are, but I think you should clap for us that despite all that, we've still done so much. So, no funding, no office, but we're still engaging our people. Thank you. Gloria, yeah, investment. Definitely, we can't pretend that, everything is perfect. So, in fact, there's a lady that came to Nigeria 2 weeks ago with 4 Americans, and they wanted to come into events. She left from Lagos. I said, I'm waiting for you. She was bringing them to the office so that we can get them. I said, I'm so sorry, I couldn't come again. They were advised to leave from Lagos because Abuja was on fire. I'm like, there's insecurity, no doubt, but we're all here. So I'm not saying, and this insecurity, by the grace of God, is a temporary thing. With everything being put in place by the government, I posted something yesterday that all this one that NAF is bombarding, nobody's talking about it. I was asking the question, how come this is not trending? So there's insecurity. We have issue of terrorism. We have issue of kidnapping, banditry. But the government is doing everything to resolve it. Everybody has their own issues one way or the other. So it shouldn't stop totally from saying, well, it may discourage you in a few, maybe for a while, but a team came. Yeah, so they come. Some just come home to do things and they ensure that but these are Nigerians. You are Nigerians. This is home. So I'm encouraged more by those who say, oh, Honorable, I know I've been home. I know I went to my village. This is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm encouraged more by them than those who will say, oh, let's discourage you. Look, we have 1 or 2 diasporas who came home, and there was a case in Abalogo, that case in one of the southwest states, that the guy was killed. But it turns out that, again, some family person was the one that was after him. And the police, we're on it with the police that at least the key thing is let's know, we are in touch with the family. I think what we do, the fact that you have one-on-one engagement with them is encouraging to them. There's always somebody they're talking to. Mr. Sylvester is always there with all police matters, and he keeps briefing us. So, well, I don't, wait, you can't force anybody. Those who are not, there are many who don't even want any persuasion. They are coming on their own. They are Nigerians. They know their country. So I don't have to go persuading, but I'll be telling you this is the truth and advising. There are places where I say, okay, maybe you shouldn't go here, but you can do A, B, C, D, and then we can help in A, B, C, D. So there are some that don't want any persuasion. It's their country. They're coming home, period. They all come to our office. How many have we received in the last 2 months? They all come. I told you Professor Hawa is what she's doing with children from different parts of the world. What persuasion? She came. She knows there are issues. In fact, the last time she came to my own home, because I said I'll give them dinner, she drove herself. No security, nothing. So, it's your country. No, I've answered that question. That let me do that properly in terms of documenting it as we have done all this and give. I don't want to raise figures that are too high or too low. I've been in office for 3 years. We've had the Diaspora Investment Summit. There are some in this document, but I'm saying this year we want to now put everything together. For instance, Ekiti is planning. What is Ekiti planning? No. Somebody is planning some asphalt center somewhere until it comes, and then we say, okay, how much is this that you have invested? All the hospitals, we have them, but we now collate everything together with the professionals. We're not doing it alone. We're working with the proper, those who are experts in this, so that we can have proper figures, the way we have for other issues. So I don't want to, because you guys like figures, I'll say this now then, is the one that, because I'm working with a team. So in 3 years, we've tried that we are even able to mention names that have done A, B, C, D, E, F. So the next now is go to the next level of say, I'm telling you specifically, this is what, it will not be individual, but we collate everything together and expect that from us, maybe at the next briefing, which I'm sure will be not this year. Muhyiddin, Falconet, I only read about it just like you did. We can't intervene if we don't know. So and all we can do is call on the appropriate person. You see, sometimes it's about immediacy. Call somebody. This is what is happening. Hey, Ambassador, are you aware of this? It's about him. But I read it in the papers. We can't do anything if nobody contacts us. There are many cases that I say you don't even know. But once we get that, we liaise with the missions. And the missions, honestly speaking, immediately intervene. So it's unfortunate what happened, but I think NFF or so are explaining. But honestly speaking, I have no information about it because nobody contacted us. Yes. And then you have to separate, no, but they are Nigerians. You have to separate diasporans from regular people that are traveling, but they are all Nigerians. And they shouldn't be stranded anyway. So, thank you. Yemi, Diaspora Investment Trust Fund. Yeah, we've made tremendous progress. We're seeing the Minister of Finance again by tomorrow. Don't forget that it's the NIDCOM thing, but we're not doing it alone. The Ministry of Finance is fully involved. So the next step now on the final takeoff, we're seeing the Minister of Finance tomorrow because there's been a presidential directive on it. So we're happy with the progress, and I believe that very soon it's going to be the actual. We don't need to launch it again. People are already waiting anyway. So yes, we're currently engaging with the Minister of Finance. And just on the part of the government, if you're asking people to invest, what is government also putting in? And she's come up with fantastic ideas that Honorable Terab and I will be meeting her on that again. Ukraine, which also will answer the online question in terms of how much spent on evacuation. I really can't answer the question because I don't deal with money. All I know is that we didn't receive one kobo for any evacuation, whether it's Ukraine, whether it's South Africa, whether it is anyone, whether it's Libya, anyone. NIDCOM as an organization did not get one kobo. I know $8.5 million was received for Ukraine, but we are not to ask questions on money, but we did not get one kobo. My staff slept at the airport. We handled the information effectively. It's a lot of times about information dissemination. We ensure that we let you know. We were there at the airport. We were communicating directly with those people as they are there, wherever they want to go to. The diasporas were clearly involved, but we didn't receive one kobo. A lot of them spend their money. We had a situation room. Balogun is still writing me that I'm owing him. I said, I'm not owing you because I don't have money to pay you. Everybody you saw here was active, but as a commission, we didn't get, I didn't say 1 naira. We didn't get 1 kobo. So we're not the right persons. No shishi. So, for South Africa, Air Peace brought them in. We approached private organizations that these people cannot come back and we just say bye-bye. So we got MTN, Lagos State, MultiChoice, who gave some form of funding or the other, where this staff were able to be on ground. Everybody got money, got food, got recharge cards so that they could go home and whatever. Libya, the same thing I did. I worked with SDGs. And we told them, what do you want to do when you come back? They filled forms. Some said they are not interested in any small business. If I remember a man who said, girl, who called me, said, what do you say you won't give us? Make I go and let's sewing. I beg. Now better money I want. So again, we got, with SDGs, we were able to give them, communication is key. We gave them SIM cards, and then those who wanted to be trained were sent to SDGs for training, but a whole lot of them really just wanted to go home. So they got some transport fees, and we don't, like I said, we do the work, but we don't get any form of extra money. No shishi. Then, my dear brother from Punch, yes, Ukraine. there's a department in Foreign Affairs that's actually strictly set up for Ukraine. We did our own bit, which is in terms of our own role in the evacuation. So there's a website, there's a portal that if you want to continue your education, again, it's a matter of choice. Go to the portal and enroll. And I think as at the last time I spoke to the director in charge, he said 403 had actually enrolled. But a lot of them are trying the private universities. Some universities are saying, we can give you scholarships if you qualify. Some, Caleb University offered 10 scholarships. Afe Babalawo University also said, come and, so it's ongoing. But the key thing again is that some institutions, particularly in the medical world, discovered that when they put them through some examinations, they actually didn't pass the level that they felt they should. So if I own an institution, you do an exam, I say you're in your final year, then you cannot pass my exam for final year, and I say go to year 3. Of course, the student would not want to go. So there were some issues with that, and I think it's been resolved. And then the issue of, can you be a doctor and be doing your practicals online? So some wanted to be doing their practicals online, and the medical schools here said, no, that cannot be acceptable. But there's an ongoing conversation, and I believe as at the last time I spoke to those involved, they're having to agree on one thing or the other, that okay, they can do it this way and all that. So it's ongoing, but there's a particular unit that is now handling the issue of Ukraine. If somebody checks, there's a portal that they can go to. I'll check before I leave and maybe announce it to everybody. Again, I've answered online. Which one again? Huh? I think we're done.
Yes.
Why is? Well, it's not the president that gives us money. Yeah. Well, again, let me ask now. Let me ask. But it's not the, look, you see everything. Let me tell you another problem in Nigeria. Everything, president. Yeah. Find your feet and do your thing. We will survive. Everything is president. The president signed the bill. He made it possible for us to even be in existence. Everything's happened. We've been talking to organizations. We've been talking to the Ministry of Finance. We've talked to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We've talked to the National Assembly. Why should we always run to the president for everything? So I'm not. You two can help us, Gloria.
Thank you. Let me close the meeting.